Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. I'm Crypto Jack and I'm hosting today's show. But alongside me today, I do have our lead analyst, Justin Wise. He's currently sitting in on the call, along with our senior analyst, Alex. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, Jack. Thank you so much for hosting the stream. Glad to see everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing amazing. We're going to have a good show today, look at the markets and break everything down.
Awesome. So, hey,
Lovely myself.
Alex. Okay, Alex is here too. Awesome.
Mhm.
So, everybody, just a shout outs to everybody in the live chat today. Thank you so much for joining us. Apologies for yesterday's live stream. Of course, we had some unfortunate weather patterns coming through the Midwest. Justin will tell us all about that in a minute. But today we're going to be reviewing the markets from Bitcoin to the majors, maybe the low caps with Alex. Maybe touching on the big pullback in gold and precious metals. And we're going to be covering a few news topics later in the show. And finally, we will be doing chart requests and Q&A in the later half of the portion of the show. So, Justin, tell us about the crazy weather hitting the Midwest since yesterday. And just so everybody knows, if Justin drops out from the call due to more power surges or Wi-Fi signals dropping out, Alex and I will of course keep the stream going in his absence, and this is why we're running the format that we are today. So Justin, take it away. Tell us about how you're doing and maybe dive right into the charts.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks. I mean, I got a ton of messages. I really appreciate that from multiple different platforms. So I really thank everybody. That's what I love about our community, is that it's so strong and people really look out for one another. But essentially, I live in the Midwest. I live in the state of Iowa. And yesterday, Monday, straight line winds hit us. Individuals are calling it an inland hurricane, but it was pretty significant. About the closest town to me, about 2 years ago, an F3 tornado hit it, and I remember seeing that town being pretty much absolutely destroyed. And I drove through that town last night. It looked the same way. They clock winds at about 99 miles per hour in that town, so those are hurricane winds. It's broken metal, roofs off of houses. It's pretty bad. The power went out here almost immediately, and power is out in just about every town, city around here. I have to drive about 45 minutes to get gasoline, which is important because I, like lots of individuals in the area, have a generator. So was able to quickly get power up for my family, and I have a lot of family in the near area. So the majority of my day yesterday was spent driving around, helping people out, helping people get their generator set up, moving branches, clearing debris, and just helping out, which is rewarding in its own way. And it made me realize something. I was having a conversation over the weekend with a friend. I took my daughters camping over the weekend, and we were just talking about our careers and life choices. And it made me realize, an aspect of trading or being independent that is not immediately recognizable, perhaps when you enter into the marketplace and you become an independent trader. It's for some individuals, it's a difficult route. It does take strategy and planning and capital management. You have to plan things out very carefully as far as, how are you going to afford your house? How are you going to afford your bills and expenses? How can you cut down on your expenses? What changes can you make in your lifestyle that will allow you to live this kind of life, that will allow you to pursue this kind of income? How much money do you have? What is your bankroll? How can you acquire a larger bankroll? Do you get funded from a firm? Do you set up your own fund? Do you borrow money from friends and family? How do you do that? These are all options. These are all strategies. We talk about all this in PTP, and for every individual, their choice is going to be slightly different. But once you kind of get through figuring all that out, once you figure that out and you have a plan and you're doing this and you're a profitable trader, you have a wealth of independence that most individuals don't have, which is which really shines in periods of distress or chaos or situations where people struggle. Coronavirus was a good example. If we look at how coronavirus impacted the United States and everybody, all countries, all cities, we can see that on top of individuals worrying about a health threat and a risk to their lives, individuals were also put out of a job, put out of work, and now they're worried. Now individuals are worried about where are they going to make money, how are they going to get income, and that's one area of life where if you're independent and you don't rely on somebody to give you a paycheck, you make money with your cunning, with your strategy. You don't worry in those situations. You're not at risk. You're not at as risk as many individuals because you have your own stable system set up. So yesterday, for example, when a lot of people were in distress and individuals running around like chickens with their heads cut off, which is often what happens in times like this. I was able to quickly and efficiently not worry about my money or the markets or anything like that because the way that I trade, everything was taken care of. My positions were in profit, my stop losses were set, everything was fine, and I swing trade, so I didn't have to worry about intraday market movements to jeopardize my capital management. And I trade on exchanges that I trust, so everything is fine. I was able to focus my time on protecting my family, taking care of my friends, and focusing on what's often important in life in those moments. So things are good now. I've got the generator set up. Unfortunately, with everything that I need to power in the house, it's not enough to power my main computer, so I do have to work from my laptop for the meantime. But that's just fine. All I need to trade is one screen. So things are good. Things are good. So again, thank you everybody, and thank you everybody who sent warm messages and who was concerned. Things are good here. Things are fine. It's unlikely that we'll have normal utilities restored in my area for maybe a week. I see the extent of the damage as I drive around and see it spread out across miles. So this is it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for them to get the power back on, but that's okay. Everything is fine now. We'll be here every day in this format if necessary until we can run the stream off of the main computer. So with that being said, and also consider that message about independence, guys. For anybody out there who is going through the initial stages of becoming a professional trader and finding difficulty, remember that. Remember that that once you're established, once you get into the game and you have everything figured out, there are benefits that might not be immediately recognizable, right? Do you want to pick up and go on vacation for a week? You can do that. Do you want to go work from a beach? You can do that. Do you want to move around all the time? You can do that. Do you want to not wake up one day? You can do that, right? Do you want to, not work one day? You can do that. You do whatever you want if you're independent. You're not beholden to anybody, and it's about as close to freedom as we can get around here. All right, so let's take a look at the charts. First off, hold on. Before we do that, let me take a look at the live stream. That's how I have to do it.
Yeah, how about I do a quick roll call on the live stream? I am watching that closely. I'm just gonna say hi to everybody who's in here. Akash Sabarami, is everything okay? He asked. Of course, everything is well. Thank you so much, Akash. You were in the stream yesterday also. Sorry for everybody who was left hanging. Mr. Ether was here early. Hello, Mr. Ether. We have Mustache in here. Ron Legato. Delilah Chote says hello from Springfield. Hello, Delilah. Spin B, a regular. David Rice. Philip Carr. Petty Cage. Danny Parker. Thank you to you for everybody showing up. Zach Coma, Lucas Shaw, we see you in the live chat. S180XT's in here. Very nice to have everybody joining us. Thank you so much. But back to Justin.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming around. Make sure to hit the like button if you guys enjoy the content. You guys are an amazing community. Let's see here. Big shout out to Springfield over there. Let's see, we got Zach Coma, lost power as well in Chicagoland for about 5 hours. Yep, I know. I have a lot of friends in Illinois. I know it did reach over there as well. Let's see. Mbate says, sorry kids, daddy's a crypto trader now, and today I don't want to wake up. Find your own food. Yeah, you got to raise the kids to be independent as well, you know? All right, so let's take a look. Is everything good with the display of my chart there, Jack?
Yep, you're looking good. You're on the screen.
All right, so let's start off here with Bitcoin, and I do have my open trades here, which we'll go over here in a little bit. And that's another thing, just a shout out to the premium members here. When I was looking at the posted signals from the CC Official Signals channel, make sure that you guys are watching that, the live trades tracking sheet, as we did switch over from the analyst signal sheets to the CC Official. You guys can find it in the drive, of course, in the analyst signal tracking folder. You guys have the links. They're all posted there in Discord as well as your introductory packet. But all the trades that we put on did amazingly well. DDM and PPSC, as we were taking long exposure on equities, have soared. All the forex pairs that we've had open, we've simply set trailing stops, and they are continuously up. Some of the altcoins that we picked, Beam and Pearl, they just blasted out of the stratosphere, of course, pulling back now over the last day or two. With the rest of the USDT pairs, as Bitcoin is getting a little wobbly here. But so far, things have not significantly changed on long-term timescales. Bitcoin is still very, very bullish in the long term, so still in a phase where I would if you are a passive investor, if you're just watching Bitcoin and you are thinking, well, is it more likely that we continue to move up broadly, or this is it? Well, I would have no confidence whatsoever in saying the latter to you. At seeing a market reversal, at seeing a situation where we stop appreciating in price, we are still in a bull market, and it's kind of it is the nature of the game, I guess, that every time we get stalled out or we see a red candle, that everyone wants to be that genius who calls the reversal. And listen, a blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while. So when you call for significant market reversals, if you call for them all the time, eventually you will be right. What's his name? Peter Schiff has been calling for a massive reversal in equities for on 7 years now, and he will eventually be right. But this is not what we want to do. We want to have a high hit rate. We want to have a high accuracy rate when we're a trader, when we're a speculator, because we need to be consistently right, because that's the only way that we can generate more income than loss. That's the only way we can generate more profit than loss. So we need to be batting consistently, and one way to bat consistently is to assume the obvious, is to assume that once a trend has begun, that trend will continue, and that is statistically the most profitable way to extract profit from the market. The most common edge in the market is following the trend. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what we do. That's the basis of Pathways to Profit. That's the basis of how I trade, how we teach all our traders to trade in the academy. So do not see a significant market reversal. Now, as far as where Bitcoin is at, our momentum oscillators are getting a little pulled back here. We do not yet have an exit signal. This is the what I have displayed on the screen is the path is a potential. This is an example PTP system that we're going to be going over and focusing on for the month of August. We've been switching this around every month so that you guys can see how to build a PTP system, or different dynamic indicators that you can utilize in a PTP system. So with this particular system, we have been riding this particular Bitcoin trade. We would have been long on Bitcoin since this candle right here, the 21st of July. We've essentially been riding this the entire way. There have been multiple opportunities for profit taking. If you are utilizing a discretionary profit taking system, the most common one will be 50% at TP1, or 20, 30, 50, or 50, 30, 20, some system like that. We go over all of those. But for all in, all outs, or for 50-50s, and I am a 50-50 trader, we have not yet gotten the exit signal to close our Bitcoin position. So we remain long on Bitcoin, and we look for higher prices at the current time. The trend would be considered bearish with the system if we close the daily candle below 10,255. And so far, all of our indicators, although pulling back, are still in bullish territory. So we can easily see a pullback here for a day, or a continued consolidation, as we've seen here for almost a week now. Following this last push up on price on the 5th of August. But no significant movements, no significant breakdowns. The only thing that I could see forming, we'll talk about potential chart patterns here. The only thing that I potentially see forming would be a swing failure pattern. That would be, as I've gone over before, one price action setup that I wouldn't say I like to trade it, but I do see that it has more consistent results. It is more profitable. It is more right more often than, say, other chart patterns like head and shoulders, which are almost never right. But this would be when the market makes a new high, makes a low, and then on its next push to the upside, it fails to make a higher high. It makes a slightly lower high. So we don't know yet. This does require 2 candles to the right, so this will require 1 more candle to confirm a actual high. And in the broad sense, we have to kind of wait to see if we form a lower high. If we're talking about market structure, higher highs and higher lows are the easiest way to identify what trend we're in. If the market is making higher highs and higher lows, then you're in a bullish trend. If the market is making lower highs and lower lows, then you are in a bearish trend. So that area where we switch from forming a higher high, and then so the area where we form a high and then the next high that we form is a lower high is a setup, as a pattern that price action traders will try to identify as, oh, this is the first lower high of what might be a bearish trend, or at least a stall out of a bullish trend and a potential opportunity for a short. And while it might be, I am not a trader that trades against the dominant trend. I do not go short when the market structure is bullish, and currently the market structure is bullish. So trades like these I will always miss, and there are at times quite profitable ones. However, that's not a large concern for me because often those reversal traders will find themselves kind of jumping at shadows and missing out on large, broader trends. For example, individuals selling here while I've been able to gather the last kind of leg of this trend to the upside. So it's all in choosing which strategy you want to trade, and I've chosen the one that is most consistent and generates the most profit over time, translated over time. So a swing failure pattern here can be confirmed one of two ways. The first way would be if we do put in another red candle, that would be considered an aggressive confirmation where you have simply seen a lower high. And the way that you have identified it as a lower high is that you've had two lower candles to the left and right of that candle that you were considering to be a high. So as we can see here, this candle that I'm talking about, yesterday's close on the 10th, we do have a lower candle here and a lower candle here. And so far we have a lower close here on the subsequent candle, today's candle. So if we were to put in another candle tomorrow that was a lower close, that could be considered an aggressive confirmation of a swing failure pattern. You would typically be targeting, for a profit target, the distance between the highest high that was put in and the low that was formed. So essentially, you would be targeting from your entry a range. A range. This range right here, right? About a 13% movement to the downside. So if that was the case, if we measure from this close, that would potentially be pointing us down to about the $9,600, $9,500 area. Pretty much this last period of consolidation before we saw this last momentum rise on Bitcoin's price. So essentially, basically a return to the trading range that we were stuck in for a very long time. Multiple ways to consider that as well. A retest of resistance turns support. I'm not a big fan. I'm not overall a big fan of that movement, as you guys can see, or as you guys could consider, because if you look at where my baseline is at 10,255, if we move down to 9,600, that would by definition mean a daily close below that, which in my book,
I would rather play a baseline bounce in this area. That's for sure.
Right. Yep.
As a matter of fact, I think that'd be a very valid strategy is to set some buy orders right on there, and I guarantee you won't be sorry if they hit. That is.
Yep, I do like that setup more because that is not basically a retreat. If we retreat all the way to 96.95,
Yeah,
I really do feel like that's
bearish.
a failure of this breakout. Yeah. And by definition will be bearish below 10,255. So I'll be looking for shorts if we close below 10,255. If we come down to the 10,255 area, then that would be a retest of actual resistance turn support, not all the way down into the order block. And I could see price pushing up from there. I think that's the extreme scenario. So multiple ways to play that. Again, if individuals want to trade against the trend, that is a potential short, but not a trade that I want to take or recommend.
You should be setting buy orders.
Yeah, buy the dip. So let's see here. The other way that one would confirm a swing failure pattern is when price closes below the close of the candle that formed the low. So in that case, this candle right here, and that would be 11,000. What's the close of this candle? 11,053.80. We're on the Bitfinex chart here. So make adjustments for the platform that you're trading on. But that's essentially it. That's really the only kind of setup that I would see. And it's all, and again, it's a setup that is trading against the current trend. So again, I remain bullish as long as price is above 10,255, and I would be interested in trading any reversals within the trend, reversals in the direction of the trend that might occur at that area. So reversal baseline bounces down to about 10,255, or some sensitive momentum oscillators like time transformation, one of our proprietary indicators, for example, might give a crossover or reach oversold territory, which would be a reversal within the trend signal for me, or give a buy signal. Or the other thing that I would be looking for here is any continuation signal, which is where our primary indicators are going to give us a secondary signal inside of a trend. So for example here, if QQE mod were to put in a blue column here above the white line, that would be a continuation signal indicating that momentum is ramping back up, and I would look to re-enter that trade and scale further into my Bitcoin long position. Other than that, I am unhedged. I am fully in Bitcoin, have been. And yeah, Bitcoin's pretty simple here, guys. Bitcoin is bullish. Let's move on. Take a look at Ethereum. I think before we do that, I want to look at market capitalization here on BTC. All right.
It's like continued downtrend, especially on the weekly. We could get a continuation all the way to like maybe 54%.
Yeah. So previously, the last time we talked about Bitcoin dominance significantly on the chart or on the stream, we were, as Alex said correctly, in an established downtrend, in let's say a bearish trend on Bitcoin dominance, which bodes good for altcoins. And this is one of the easiest confirmations you can find for, is this really alt season, right? So altcoin traders who have been in the market for, let's say, a year or longer, or specifically, let's say the latter half, 2018 would have been fairly traumatic, but let's say 2019 is a good example, where we did see mini rallies in altcoins. And you have individuals got very excited. I remember it happened so many times. This is alt season. No, this is alt season. This is really happening. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Price moved up a little bit, and then just as individuals got really bullish and the market started buying in, altcoins would tank. Bitcoin
That
would do
happened to me
something.
every alt season for like most of the bull market. I was still so new. I'd be like, okay, guys, here's all the setups. It'd be like 300%, and like the altcoins are not doing that at the time.
Yep. But we are there now, right?
Yes,
Altcoins have done those
indeed.
movements, and we are going to ride that as long as it continues. Again, individuals will always call for market reversals, and they are often wrong. So I remember previously, this was several weeks ago, we were looking at Bitcoin dominance, and I had a feeling that we might actually get a movement up in some bearish activity from altcoins, and that did not happen. I think
We sort of did on the daily. There was like 2 or 3 days there. Like, do you see that
Yeah, it
bounce
was
off
right.
the bottom
Yeah,
there?
it was right here. It was right here. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
expecting a more pronounced bounce, maybe up to this area, and then a continued movement down. But that did not happen. We did get, yes, a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a stall out here on the daily. But we almost immediately plunged down, and then we had a sort of correction here. So something that I wanted to see, but the levels, I was certainly incorrect on the levels. And I think what was kind of more important there was certainly the weekly trend predominating that, and that's a good example of not allowing a lower time frame to attempt to get you into a trade that you otherwise would not want to. Now, this didn't end up costing me any money or invalidating any of my trades, because this was just some fundamentals that I was considering when looking for discretionary positions, not a whole lot of which I ended up putting on. But altcoins have been and continue to be incredibly bullish, and the Bitcoin dominance chart does show this. So I see the next area of significance around 58.49 and 59, where we currently sit at 63.84 currently. So yes, I can see us continuing down from here especially after this a little bit of consolidation, push down, and retest. There's really no reason to go back to that area. So I think that we continue to see, as much as it might surprise individuals, I think that we're going to continue to see good results come from the altcoins, regardless of what Bitcoin does. All right, so looking at Ethereum then. All right. So looking at Ethereum again, we are out. Let me double check. Yeah, so not out of ETH Bitcoin, but we are out of ETH USD, and that was an incredible trade, just an incredible trade that we took on ETH USD. And the reason why we were out of ETH USD is not due to an exit signal, but because of our trailing stop loss hitting, right? We had moved our trailing stop loss up aggressively, and so we were able to get out right around this area when price had this nice run up and put in Ethereum's last high. We have the same price action setup here, the swing failure pattern potential setup here forming. We have formed a high and a potentially lower high, but we have not cracked that level of support, and we merely see price moving sideways. So Ethereum here to me actually looks structurally more bullish than Bitcoin, and it has been putting in larger gains than Bitcoin. Of course, you have the DeFi craze to thank for
And
this.
that's reflected on ETH Bitcoin chart.
Yep, absolutely. And that is a position that Alex was able to get us into. I believe that's currently up about 30% already. So that is doing well.
Oh, and that's a margin position, by the way, guys. It's glorious. It's a nice 2%er.
So yeah, Ethereum USD here, I do not see any reason currently to re-enter. We are moving sideways consolidation. I would assume that we do break to the upside here as the trend will continue. We have our baseline at 318.10, so I would be bullish on pullbacks anywhere above 318.10 if we can see any sort of reversal sign or reversal signal that you guys like to trade, or just large red movements down to 318.10. You're going to be getting it at more optimal prices. So baseline bounces here are certainly valid, reversals within the trend, and regular continuation trades. None of which we currently have today. So I would certainly just be patient here. If you're already in ETHUSD or you're holding Ethereum, I would simply continue to do that. If you're in a position on ETHUSD, I would continue to do that. If you've entered a position, let me put a caveat in there. If you've entered a position on ETHUSD within this consolidation period, I would say stretching back to the 3rd of August, that's a position that I would likely go ahead and close unless of course the trading system that you've built has told you to enter. But I would be relatively wary of any momentum signals that I got within this area, because as we see, price has not really broken out. We have not had a big surge of volume. We can see OBV on balance volume are actually pulling down. So again, this is just typical of consolidation, and this is sideways consolidation after a nice bullish push, which statistically breaks to the upside, particularly in a bull market, which we are in. So things are looking good for Ethereum here. However, for myself, I'm not in Ethereum. I hold Ethereum, but I'm not in an active trade, and I would not be until I see either, as I said before, a pullback opportunity closer to 318.10, a reversal within the trend opportunity, or a continuation signal. So I think things are looking good. If we put Quadriga on, excuse me, and I'll just do that this way. Yep. If we put Quadriga on, which is our stop and target system, and just measure from where we're currently at, we do see kind of next targets for Ethereum here. If we do break out of this consolidation period, starting at 407.50, let's say 431.20 and 454. Let's call that 455 because that's 454.90. So certainly seeing a potential movement continued up to about 455, I think, here in the medium term. So things are good, and we can see that even our projected stop loss would be above that 318.10. So 347.90. Let's call that 348. So Quadriga, even considering the situation, more bullish than the momentum indicators. All right, what do we want to look at next, guys? Is XRP still a thing? Let's check in with XRP, because XRP has been one of the biggest underperforming coins of, I don't know, the last century. But we've had good positive momentum. Finally getting some momentum here in XRP USD. So let's take a look. Just about any good trending PTP system would have signaled for XRP. We can see that we actually did end up breaking the trend over here on the 8th of July. And let's see, at that time, actually generating a signal there. I think that trade would have been a failure. Yeah, we would have entered here. I would have been a losing trade. That's okay. We basically rode the consolidation down, not a big loss. And then we do get the nice continuation signal here, which does allow us to ride this last trend. So this is negligible. This is a huge win. No exit signal so far. So again, we do see XRP USD as Ethereum and Bitcoin here moving sideways in consolidation, holding support here and just grinding it out. No significant breakdowns or breaks to the upside. So while I do not see an exit signal here, it's possible that one's trailing stop loss would have been triggered on this candle. That is where I believe this is the same day that our trailing stop loss on Ethereum USD triggered. And yeah, so that would have been that same day. So possibly that individuals are out of that trade utilizing the trailing stop loss method. But if they are not, then holding their position is completely valid. We don't have any signs that one should exit XRP USD here. However, I also don't see any signs or reasons for one to enter into a trade today. We want to wait for a continuation signal so we do have good indication of continued bullish momentum, or we want to wait for a more optimum price. So again, down to about 22.95, about 23 cents, somewhere closer to 23 cents. I could see price pulling back here on XRP. Perhaps not that significantly. Obviously, we can see that there is liquidity around that area. It's about 24 cents where this candle was able to wick down to. So that is where the buyers were, and that is where the buyers are still going to be. So let's be patient here and see what plays out. Overall, this is, as painful as it may be for me to admit, this is a bullish chart, and the market is bullish. So a rising tide will lift all boats.
On topic of XRP, Bflow asks, can you look at XRP BTC for continuation long, please?
Let's take a look here. Alex, you're the BTC master. You want to take a gander?
Yeah, sure. Let's pull it up. XRP Bitcoin is about the only major alt that isn't languishing right now. So I think it's just there's no signal yet for a continuation long. It's like too early. You could have done a baseline bounce here. But we don't even have a. You could have set a baseline bounce order and it would have worked out. But we don't even have a TT cross. That's how early it is. So no continuation signal yet. It'll probably be tomorrow. But I think you could probably get in here. I think that we've got a nice amount of descending sell volume and then increasing buy volume off of a likely area where we would see a bounce, which is the bottom of this previous trading range. If we look at this as a Wyckofian sort of automatic rally. This is the spring volume pump, retest to the bottom here, continuation this way. So like I said, I would wait for the TT cross at the very least. That's all. Next chart.
Good stuff. I'm just reviewing the chat here. Stun Gun saying he lives in a hurricane zone, so he feels the pain. So he feels one's pain. Hold on a second. Let me see here.
I'm in Florida right now. If it's less than a category 3, we don't care.
Yeah. Let's see. Zach Como was on generator power as well. Let's see here. Peckham says, can we discuss the disgusting SXP offering released, bought 700 at $1.71 and sold it all? No thanks. CRO for me. Let's see here. Mike sounds like a new Justin. Yeah, I am on the headset today. I do not have the good, sleek, and sexy mixer with a nice microphone set up. Again, as hopefully as I am able to figure out what I can power off, what toys my daughter can do without, what utilities we don't need. Maybe I can get more of my things on, but for now this is sufficient. Let's see here. Tyler.
Dad, are you on with that again?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Let's see here. Tyler says he did take the short at 11.9 because the 10-hour stochastic turned over and the NVT was redlining. Doesn't mean a major reversal, but I'll be in it till one of them recovers.
Good old 10-hour stochastic. Old reliable.
Spin B is still holding his BTC 10x long from 91.70, about to buy a new house. Let's see here.
Very nice, man.
Meta also took the price action short.
Yeah, like it seemed like kind of a solid rejection from 12K last night when it came in. Like, oh well, there we go.
Common Man Crypto has a prediction here that the Dow rejected from 28.5K. Gold and silver will backtest. NASDAQ fails to break higher. The Dixie rejected from 95. Bitcoin backtests. May dip below 10K as a fake out to the downside. All right. So essentially looking for, as far as I would trade that, I would be watching to see my indicators confirm a short call on Bitcoin if that does happen. And then essentially just waiting, I guess. Let's see. SpinB will close his long tonight if Bitcoin closes below 11,500. Not a bad idea. How do we feel about band? We can take a look at that in a bit. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, Tenacious V. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and give some updates here, I guess, specifically for the premium members here. Just give you guys some updates on the trades.
Today, by any chance?
Yeah, I would. Let's go through these, and I'll shout it out as we come here because there's actually quite a few. I would say DDM and PPSC. Those are some big rippers for me, but and that's because of the position sizes that I tend to use on equities due to the distance to the stop. They tend to be very, very, very large because the distance to the stop is quite small, which means you risk the same amount. However, when you do have a winning trade, I mean that the profit is magnified. So when you have a trade where you put on the correct position size, you are risking the correct amount, but your gain will be outsized, which is why I do recommend individuals to diversify outside of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is amazing and it forms the basis of my profits from trading. But forex now has contributed a large amount to that, and the distance to stops in forex is generally much smaller than the distance to stops in cryptocurrency, and equities even more so. So if you begin to trade ETFs like I do, the distance to stops in ETFs is very, very small. So while what I do is I predominantly trade crypto and forex, when I do take equities trades, I have a very high hit rate in those trades and in CFDs and ETFs, and they do represent an outsized amount of profit. They're very large. They're very large winners. So I do recommend that individuals check that out. You can trade those with margin if you're a CFD trader. If you're non-American, if you are an American, your access to margin will be limited, but it just depends on your broker and platform, right? Charles Schwab, Webull all offer margin. Robinhood offers margin.
Cool.
So the euro yen, this has just been a fantastic trade since our entry right here. And this has just continued to rip. So the euro yen up almost, let's see here, let's just get the measurement tool out. Check. Yeah, up almost 2%, which for a forex trade is huge on the daily. This is, let's see here, just check again. Yeah, 221 pips on the euro yen. So really fantastic trade. Very happy with that one, as well as the Aussie Kiwi here. The Aussie Kiwi, even a better performer. This has just been ballistic since our entry. And a few pullbacks, but nothing that's stalled us out. Just a beautiful movement from the Aussie Kiwi. Great pair to be in, and we're still riding this one as well as the euro yen long. The pound yen, again, a beautiful movement today, breaking the new high. I'm expecting a higher high from this.
Yeah, that looks ripe for continuation. If you're not already in, I think you could grab this to continue.
Yep. Yeah, this is a good trade. This has been a great trade, as well as the pound Kiwi here. Not as big of a mover, but again, still hitting our first TP and just moving up to where we want it. I kind of actually expect a little bit of a sideways pullback here in the pound Kiwi. The France 40 euro was a good trade for us. We did take a continuation short right here, and this moved down very nice for us. Hit our first take profit price. I have not closed this trade on the sheet, but it has been closed obviously on the platform where we did actually hit our our break-even stop loss right here on this candle. So this trade is actually closed, but this did generate a great profit for us on the CFD markets over on Awanda. So going to what I would consider trades of the day, just recent ones that I've put on. Let's see. Sorry, let's go over to DDM. So DDM we did place on, and DDM has just been, just amazing for us. Gapping up on Monday, gapping up today, and since the gap to the upside, pushing up and closing out just a little down. But again, I was very bullish on the Dow. Looking at the equities last week, I had signaled that to the premium members that both the Dow particularly, which is weird because the Dow has been the weakest of the big three between the SPY, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. And the Dow was looking amazing looking into Friday. And as I said on Friday's stream, I was expecting a bullish Monday, which we got. We did get a bullish Monday in equities and crypto. It was a good day. So while that's a good one, I would consider PPSC here certainly the trade of the day. PPSC, small cap ETFs. I decided to take PPSC for the volatility because the SPY was signaling for continuation, but PPSC was as well. So I took the trade on PPSC, and again, a nice gap to the upside, not significant on Monday's open, but a beautiful gap to the upside today. So just really enjoying this trade and the gain. So we of course hit TP1 on all of these trades. Stop losses are at break even. So definitely for individuals that are unfamiliar with trades that we call or what we do in the premium trading group, one of the things that we do offer is the premium signal service, and we do offer not only cryptocurrency signals but forex, ETF, and CFD signals as well. And they just continue to improve. Our strategies continue to improve, and our hit rate on ETFs and CFDs and forex has been incredible. I've been very, very happy to add that because those are the markets that I came from before I entered into cryptocurrency. So figuring out the correct signaling system and figuring out the correct safe and conservative trades that we could place our members in while still offering good returns.
Yeah. Safe conservative trades. They want to see shit coins.
Yeah,
I only got 20 minutes left.
That's what we do. But that's what crypto's for, right? That's what crypto's for. The Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar trade we are in. We have actually hit TP1 on this trade, and we have not yet hit our stop loss on this, but we're just hovering right around our entry. So nothing significant to talk about here. And let's talk about the crypto signals that the analysts came together and did signal. I'd say Beam is here probably the most significant one. On Beam, price rallied just significantly since we called it, so it was a good trade. We did enter this trade here. On the 6th of August, we were able to capture all of this rally. Still in this trade, pulling back a little bit here, so we're going to see what the broader market does. If Bitcoin does decide to move up from here, then we're going to see the USDT pairs continue to move up. If BTC USD decides to move down, then we're likely going to be hitting our stop loss. Now, Beam USDT could have been handled more aggressively because, in all actuality, a trailing stop should have been placed right here. So likely those who handled it aggressively were out right around here because that trailing stop loss would have been. Let's actually go and check. Bar replay here. Come on. Let's see here. So the trailing stop loss will only be about 52 cents. So in all actuality, you would still be in this. Turn off bar replay. Yes. 52 cents. Yeah, sorry, no, you'd be out. Your trailing stop loss would have been at 52, so you would not, you would have garnered more profit. But for those who haven't handled it aggressively, for those who just have their break-even stop loss, you do have plenty of room for this to continue to move up, as this is so far just a pullback. The other one, the other position that we put our members in was Pearl, and did something similar. Not as significant of movement as Band, of course, but a good price appreciation entering on this initial breakout, hitting TP1 and price so far pulling back. Has not hit our break even stop loss yet, so we are still in this trade, and again allowing the market to breathe and do what it does. I do not see any broad entries. Of course, the analysts will be getting together. The analysts will be getting it together later today, so we can organize our trades. I do not see anything off the top of my head that I want to share on the stream. I prefer to share those with the premium members. But just nothing massive. I think the most important information that I can convey is that the market is still bullish. We're in an area where price has been pulling back. It can pull back a little bit more. But overall, I think that where people should be looking for is buying the dip, identifying the coins that they want to continue to hold, rebalancing their portfolio out of anything that they consider weak, because these are areas where if you're putting yourself into, let's say, the low cap shitcoins, you want to be cautious about that, because yes, they will move, but they will turn around just as quickly. So the strategy there, I think, is if you've had good wins, take those funds, roll them over into the next. Wait for that pump, roll them over into the next. Meanwhile, consistently rebalancing and taking a good chunk of your profits and sticking them into what is going to be consistently gaining, so that overall your portfolio, regardless of individual speculative plays, is growing, and you're not beholden to the low caps continuing to pump and put in these incredible gains. Individuals will make money doing that because it's like a broad penny stock market rally. It's a broad shitcoin rally, but you want to be setting yourself up for when that carousel stops and you're holding something reliable. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the majors. Overall, I think that generally profits should be stuck into Bitcoin. This is digital. This is digital gold. This is e-gold. This is what you want to be holding, and Bitcoin is going to continue to appreciate. All of the fundamental issues are in play. The way that the countries around the world, the way that central banks around the world are handling the generation of money, the printing of money, does lead to a sound currency like Bitcoin continuing to appreciate in price. And with blockchain technology spreading and adoption growing, these are the times to understand what to be sticking your money into. And what to be sticking your money into is something like Bitcoin.
All right, well said. I know Alex is kind of tight on time. Maybe we could get Alex on real quick to run us through some of the low and mid caps. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, that sounds good. I've only got like 15 minutes left.
All right, Justin, you good with that?
Yes,
All
please
right.
show us what's going to pump, my brother.
All right, I'm going to be switching you over now. Alex, you are on the stream. Show us what you got.
All right, so I'm on the stream. So we were looking at Bitcoin dominance here. It looks like it is most likely going to continue to decrease. Trying to get a sense of the broader market overall. Over the last few days, DeFi has just been pulling way into the lead, way ahead of Bitcoin, more so than privacy exchange coins. Shitcoins and mid caps, while having pullbacks today, have also been incredibly bullish. Let's take a look at it in a slightly longer time frame here. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this. Yeah, so this is our first real strong pullback today. So just looking at this, I think it's clear that mid caps and shitcoins are continuing to be far more bullish than what we're seeing exchange coins or altcoins being. So let's continue having our head buried in shitcoins for right now. Let's take a look at we will run through super fast the list of the Binance low caps and look at a couple of Uniswap low caps. So a lot of these we had accumulation areas set in. Iris, wish we could have gotten in here, but there's just no strong signal. We didn't have enough data or anything like that to take this. If you can get in on a retest here, I think that'd be good for continuation. CTSI, this has just been so strong, but pull back here. If you can get in on a continuation, that's where I would do it. Bit shares, this is in our accumulation area. We'll probably want to take it to this area. Syscoin, glad we didn't take this. Yeah, it's still just, we're not getting any strong signals here. Loom, this is off of the bottom of its trading range. We're seeing a lot of that. LRC, no continuation up into this area yet. We're looking at this on the 3-day, and it's still very strong here. It would be great if we could trade back down in here and get an entry, but it's more likely that we're going to continue onwards here up in this area. BLZ has been one of the strongest of the low cap alts. Looks like we're getting a pullback over the last few days here since we broke over this form of resistance. So we're retesting this spot. We might test down this area before we get a continuation. Raven still retesting its all-time lows. This area is its all-time low. If you remember, I told you like more than a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that taking Raven here was an opportunity cost just because it was an all-time low. You do not necessarily want to take it here, and that has proven to be true. I mean, you could have jammed it into almost anything else and be better off. MTH bouncing off the bottom of our accumulation area, likely continuation onto here. BCPT in our accumulation area, likely continuation. AMB. A few weeks ago, I told you here was the spot to pick it up. As you can see, that has borne out. I wouldn't be surprised if we retested this spot right here, then continuation with the way the market is. AGI has just been kind of going, gone since it retested the bottom of its trading range. Not gonna lie, I didn't see this strong a movement happening here. So someone asked me yesterday. They were like, I think it was in this spot if they should buy in. I was like, I don't know. It looks like you'd be buying resistance, and it just kind of like kept going. So sorry, dude. What can I say? Vib, eh, still kind of a straggler. Could be very volatile if slash when it takes off. Same with Vibe. Nice little retest of this. What did I tell you guys about this one? What did I tell you? Retest, 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 triple bottom on this. Resistance turn support, continuation. Where are we taking this to? I like this area right here, these two spots. So take it to either 600 or 460. If you're not already in this, I wouldn't worry too much. You could probably be buying today. I would not be surprised we broke this today. It's a good, strong signal. Maybe you'll have a little bit of underwater time, but it's good. It's strong. So, I mean, see, that's even on our watch list, guys. You were here. You saw me. So, AST, still hanging out here. We didn't really like this one that much. I'd love to see more pullback. CMT. What did I tell you about CMT in this spot, guys? Ren, beautiful. As soon as this trend line broke, that was it. Tapped our accumulation area, kept moving. POA, this is a retest of the bottom here. It's been strong along with everything else, but there's just other stronger charts. RCN has been weak too. Fell below our accumulation area. Matic is turning kind of strong here. I do not dislike this spot. It looks like we're getting increased 3-day momentum and a confirmed confirmed-ish signal on here. I would prefer to like buy Matic up here when we know for sure. But if you bought Matic in the spot, you're probably not stupid, especially with the way the market is. Same with TRX. TO bounced right off our accumulation area, just kind of wicked into it. We didn't really get a lot of trading in there, so if you missed it, I'm not surprised. This is also a retest at the bottom of the training range, and it's one of those ones where we thought, hey, there's more bullish coins out there. Usually take this right up to this area short term. SNT, same story. Bounce out the bottom of the area. Hey, did you guys lose me?
No, you're here, but Justin did get cut off, so
Oh,
you're
well
good.
then it looks
you've
like
been
our
steady.
timing was perfect.
No, it's all good.
QSP, there's an easy long on the table here. I'd want to retest this area right up here. And then I think we might get a further test down here in QSP. Same here with OST. These are all very similar looking charts. It's like QSP here, or OST here is doing that. QSP, what's AST look like over here? AST. Very similar charts. A lot of these coins, I think they've got like similar market makers or something like that. Yo-yo, this is the area I think to pick it up in. Although it's looking like we might get a rejection here and further test lower. There's better coins out there. Data, I kind of like this. If we think of this as, the rest of the market has been so bullish, right? So where would data do a reversal? We're getting a nice 3-day. This is a confirmed 3-day bullish divergence right here. You take it to this area. Kind of better coins out there. CND has been incredibly bullish right here, especially if you look at it on the weekly. This did not pull back into its accumulation area and retest the bottom of its range like almost every other coin we looked at. I don't know. This could just fire off into the air. Which is what, of course, the sound of a pumping coin makes. Last week I said no, I did not. So this was actually this is my drawing. So you're supposed to layer buys to here. It's just full continuation on here. I think now is the time to get back into ZIL. There's been we got a weekly confirmation right here on TT. I love it. I would probably take ZIL all the way. Maybe retest the top right here, consolidate a little more, and then burst up. So I don't dislike longing this spot. DNT. Oh, come on, look at that, guys. It's super bullish right there. Just set your stop right here. It's not that hard, guys. I'm good there. Sorry, I'm funny. All right. 1, we are actually still in this. We have been in this since 57. I've just been kind of ignoring exit signals because why would you exit something like this? We could not break support right here. Yeah, so that's a killer trade. Singles, this is so weak compared to all the other coins. I don't know why you would want to buy this. I guess it's a decent spot. PHB. See, this is similar to AST, but it's been more bullish. I do like this buy right here. I think if you look at it on the weekly, depending on how the weekly closes, you'll see, especially with all this volume coming in, you can take this up to this area right here, which is a nice 50% move. Doc has been really strong past couple weeks. IOST still kind of accumulating, not as strong as some of the other ones we're looking at. Verge is finally ready. You guys, live on the air, I circled this spot and told you to buy. Do you remember that? I told you I was going to make you rich live on the air. And what's happening? Oh my God. We're getting a reversal from this very spot where I said we would accumulate from. So as you can see, this is our entry signal. We even set a little alert right here. We're going to be getting it on the end of today is where we're crossing over here. So you can enter here. You could layer some buys here, hope for the best. I think you're probably a little late on that point. 66 is not a bad place to be buying, though. I think we could take it up to this area right here. As a matter of fact, I think you should. I won't be there, but I think we should call that for the members today, perhaps, Justin.
Yeah, you were very, very aggressive on Verge. Very good call.
Yeah. And I think it's time to pick it up again. It's shitcoin season. Shitcoin season is strong, guys. And Verge is one of the ultimate shitcoins. What do we say? Scam coins pump the hardest? And what is Verge? Well, maybe not a scam coin, but it's questionable. Anyway, IOTX bounced off the bottom here. I think you could take a long right in this area because we're getting confirmation right now, and you want to take it up to this area right here. It's a nice 80% move, but you're going to need to leave this a little wide, so it's roughly a 3R. CDT here, breaking above horizontal resistance and trend resistance, so looking a little strong. You can take it up to this area, at least, I think. Lend, a little bit more pullback, a little bit more consolidation. Lend's been like the strongest of the DeFi coins. It's up like 400 some percent, or the strongest of the major DeFi coins. There's shittier DeFi coins that are up more, but that a little bit more pullback. Fun is finally getting some interest. So I think you could probably buy this spot. Maybe it's time for fun because it is shitcoin season. Poe, ditto. I don't like how badly this has been sold into. There's better coins, stronger. Same. Holochain might soon be ready. I mean, it is shitcoin season. I guess I want to see confirmation first. All right, boom. So that's all our Binance low sat coins. Let's take a look at a few of the Uniswap tokens that I mentioned last time. There was XFT. I've been in this one since day one. I think yeah, sorry. Tridex has been very popular recently. It's got lower load time.
XFT has been pretty damn strong, I think. Even on the
Yeah.
pullback, it's managed to keep its price up.
So what? I called it like here or something like that. It doesn't matter. You made bank. You're probably at least 2x, maybe 3x, depending on, yeah. All right, so there was YFI. Yeah, and by the way, I am still holding most of my XFT back. I think it's got plenty of room to run, just like the rest of the market. So let's see what else we got. YFI. I know I called this one live on the air, and I was very aggressive about it. So what happened? Zoom out just a little.
Tune in next time.
Yeah. Okay, so I called this right over here on the break of this. And we kind of languished here for a while, and then we threatened to dump right here. Over here, what you see is a Binance listing pump. So Binance listed YFI just a little earlier in the week, which, while not something that I was necessarily predicting was going to happen, but the chart said we were going to go up. So that's what happened. We got a nice little retest right here if you were looking for a place to kind of enter. And then this is a nice, cool, what is this? A respectable 80% move you could have pulled out of it. And I'm not even pretending like you bought right here and sold right up here. There's room in there to scoot around a little bit. So I think overall, several phenomenal trades that we have been suggesting to you guys over the past few weeks. So we've been taking some of them. There are plenty more interesting things going on in Uniswap right now. Just be really careful out there, guys. There's some really great new token offerings that are kind of similar to the ICO craze of 2017 going on right now. But what that means is that some of them are pretty scammy. There was just two that exit scammed just yesterday, Nexa and Nugs.
Yep.
Nugs like a one-day scam. People got really
going to
on
be
that.
touching on those two in today's news recap.
Yeah,
but
so I'll let them go a little further into guys. That's it for me for right now. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, nice to have you, Alex. Thank you so much for running us through some of those shit perps for sure.
Yep, definitely. Mid cap and shit coins are the way to go for right now, guys. It looks like we're gonna get an experience, or we're gonna experience a pullback, brief on Ethereum and the other major alts, along with Bitcoin, and then probably during that time, we're gonna see money flow into shit coins and then flow back out into out of shit coins once Bitcoin gets its stuff together. Maybe, I think that's kind of how I'm reading the market right now. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, dude.
Yep,
Thanks
travel
again for stopping
safely out
by.
there.
All right, much thanks to Alex for making it in today. It's always nice to have the wingman along for the ride. In the meantime, I'm passing Justin back the mic. Justin, your screen is now back on the main scene. You're on the Bybit competition window. What can you
Yep.
tell us about that?
Yep, I just wanted to remind individuals that Bybit is hosting the World Series of Trading competition for individuals that participated in the Bybit Brawl last year. They'll remember the fun that we had, the gains that were made, and just overall the good team competitive experience. We're going to be competing again this year, of course, as the Kraken cryptocurrency team. We do currently have almost 40 members on our squad. Making us one of the biggest English channels. So certainly there are a few that are bigger than us, but we're up there, and I really appreciate that. A lot of support shown from the group, and what I really like is, whereas you will see individuals register for these competitions that may be questionable in their trading experience. We have a team full of killers here, a team full of some real assassins. So I know almost all these people, almost all of them are in the group. They trade PTP, and I consider them pretty dangerous in this competition. So if you guys want to come, join. There's no requirement. Don't trade aggressively. Don't trade anything outside of your system would be my recommendation. Just trade normally, and you're just going to be in the competition, and your P&L will be counted along with our group. There will be going to be some prizes. I believe the prize pool is currently at 75 BTC. Could get up to 200. We'll see here when registration ends. But yeah, you guys can go register at wsot.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's wsot.crackingcryptocurrency.com, or ask in our Discord if you guys have any questions. All the rules and regulations are here. You do have to have a 0.1 BTC deposit in your Bitcoin account to compete. And make sure you have that 0.1 BTC in at time of registration, or your P&L will be reflected negatively, and you cannot come back from that. That is one of the little misnomers, but they have changed it up so that I think that you have to have it there on registration. So it's possible that they will not let you register even if you don't have that 0.1.
Mr. Ether asks, did the competition already start? It started. It's alive, right?
So I still see the ability here to register, but as far as my log in from here, but as far as my understanding was, the competition was supposed to start on the 10th at a UTC time. So I'm unsure. I don't know if we just started or if registration's almost done. So if registration's over, then forget what I said, and the competition's live. But I'm just going to be trading naturally. So one thing I have not had time to check on in my morning. But I do see that it's the 11th of August, but they count time with UTC. So if you guys see the live page, then the competition is likely live.
All right, cool. Moving along. What do you want to cover next? Do you want to get into any more charts or any markets you have in mind, Justin? I do have one request here from David Rice asking to look at ADA. I don't think we touched on ADA yet. I think we might have just lost Justin. Justin. See, this is what's going on, guys. This is what's happening in the Midwest. Power outages and Wi-Fi drops galore. Okay, Dark Rico says the competition did start, but there is a later registration available after the start. All right, so that answers that question. If anybody wants to join, looks like you can probably still get in. According to Andrew Muntz, the Pacific salmon is for sale everywhere. All right. Litecoin debit card has just been announced minutes ago. Litecoin debit card, eh? Who's facilitating that? All right, looks like Justin's outage did occur again. All right. How about in the meantime, guys, we head on over here. And let's cover a couple news items today. Let's go over here real quick. All right. So here's one of our first stories. So this company, this Nasdaq listed company, there's Justin. Welcome back, Justin.
Yep, and I'm back in. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all
Internet's
good.
still a little spotty around here, doing my absolute best.
All good. I'm gonna quickly recap the news, and then we're gonna get into the last few chart requests, and then wrap it up. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Let's do it.
All right. So our first story of today, this Nasdaq listed company, MicroStrategy. It's just acquired $250 million worth of Bitcoin as a reserve and so-called safe haven asset to put on their books. So this was reported by Business Wire today. This is a major publicly traded company. Again, trades on the Nasdaq. They go by the name MicroStrategy, and they acquired about 21,500 Bitcoin today that they're using as a primary reserve asset. Let's see here. It's a firm that works in the business intelligence sphere, whatever that means, and it announced that they paid about $250 million US, all fees included, to acquire 21,454 Bitcoin in a hell of a over-the-counter deal. I wonder who brokered that and how much they made. The company did choose Bitcoin as its main treasury reserve asset after it had shared the financial results of Q2 2020. By investing in this large amount of Bitcoin, MicroStrategy publicly recognizes BTC as a proper investment tool that may be even better than cash. In addition, the company chose Bitcoin as a major holding in its treasury reserve strategy, according to the CEO, Michael Sayer. The CEO added that spending such a large amount of funds on Bitcoin is now part of the company's new strategy to allocate capital in order to provide shareholders with a long-term value asset. Also, the company had to invest up to $250 million into one or more alternative assets in accordance with its earlier adopted strategy. Saylor says the company's been driven to decision partly by the current stimulus measures enforced by the U.S. government, as well as the prevailing political and economic uncertainty. And the hyperinflation will likely follow the current crisis, he says. So, very cool. If anybody wondering if the institutions are coming, well, here's yet another example of one doing exactly that. And go figure, what do they cite? They say, the current stimulus measures are making them a little nervous. The prevailing political and economic uncertainty in the air right now. Clearly, these troubled times we're in are driving even some of these bigger institutional players to consider packing away a little bit of Bitcoin for that dark day. Any thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I've been talking about this, for as long as I can remember, and as I
Uh-oh, did we just lose him? I think we just lost him. Indeed, Justin has been talking about this for a very long time, but unfortunately, this is how it goes when you're in the middle of a catastrophe, huh? All right, next story. Let's quickly hop into the next one. I'm sure Justin will be back any minute. All right, here we go. So, I don't know if anybody saw this. This is the new Grayscale ad. The history of money in 30 seconds and digital currencies. So, talking about introducing crypto to a mass audience. So, of course, the US-based major crypto asset management firm, Grayscale, which we talk a lot about on the show here, launched its new national ad campaign. So, I don't know if this is going to play after the Super Bowl or when this is going to air on TV, but I think this will be very cool. But warming up normies to our industry. And they say that they aim to bring new crypto users by telling them a history of money in 30 seconds. The commercial is not your average financial services ad. It's a wake-up call that people everywhere should seize what we feel is a once-in-a-generation opportunity that digital currencies may present, the company said in a blog post. The voiceover in the video clip does not mention any specific crypto. Only thing is, he says it's time for digital currency, and it shows a list of Grayscale's products right at the end. The TV, all right, so here we go. The commercial is going to be seen on actual TV across digital and social platforms. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to play this. Hopefully it doesn't generate any copyright strikes. I might pause it every few seconds to kind of give it that. Oh, here we go. Justin is back.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys. Internet's just still pretty unstable over in this area, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it and not disrupt the stream as much as possible. I don't want to be cutting out every 5 minutes when in the middle of.
It's all good. But if you don't mind hanging in there, I could definitely use you for maybe just the sign off and maybe the Q&A portion. For now,
Sure,
maybe
yeah,
hang on and. I'll reacquaint you with the news as well. So we're talking about, of course, the Grayscale TV ad. Did you hear about this, Justin?
Yep. I was aware of this.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly fire this up, guys. Let's see what it looks like. Let me turn the Twitter volume up a little bit here so everybody can hear it.
Before money, people traded goods, tools, cattle, grain, even shells represented value. Then currency came along. They made it out of copper, gold, silver, wampum. Soon people decided to put all that value into a piece of paper.
Alright, so you can see the intro here has to do with a little quick recap, 10-second recap of the history of money, and then boom, hit the normie with the facts that at some point the bankers started printing this en masse, and this is now the mess we're entering. And let's keep going.
Then proceeded to wave goodbye to value, printing unlimited
Yeah, and
amounts
this,
of money.
just carrying on the point that I was trying to make on that last segment before I cut out was, it takes time and it takes courage to see something of value, to see the truth, and to put your money where your mouth is, essentially. And it's only later that people will wake up and be like, oh, hey, you were right. That 2 years ago when you were talking about that thing. But you have to have the courage when it's 2 years ago to act on your instincts, to act on your analysis.
For sure. I feel like Galileo here with the digital currencies, but let's finish this here.
Buck to the future. That's why it's time for digital currency. And your investment in the Grayscale funds. Go digital. Go Grayscale.
Alright, so as you can see, guys, they basically shill their Grayscale trust and all their different products. If we zoom into the end here, we can see we have the Bitcoin Trust, the Cash Trust, the Ethereum Trust, the Ethereum Classic, Horizon, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, XRP, and the Zcash Trust. So we see that they list almost a dozen of their products on here. Not quite telling you to run over to your local Bitcoin ATM and load up yourself, but still pretty good, I think, for exposure in the space. I'm quite pleased to see this come out the way it did. Alright, let's hop really quickly into the next story. I know we got a few chart requests people are probably going to have for Justin, including David Rice's Cardano request. We will get to you, Mr. Rice, in just a second. Alright, let me just make sure this is centered. Here we go. Alright, so a little update on the Facebook digital currency incursion. So, we haven't actually heard too much about Facebook since the Libra project seems to have kind of faltered. Here's a little update as to what Facebook is doing on that front. So this one's called Facebook Goes All In on FinTech with launch of a new products group. So Facebook is determined not to take no for an answer when it comes to FinTech. Facebook has launched a new product group to promote payments and commerce opportunities, with David Marcus, the Libra's co-creator, in charge of the division. The group, called Facebook Financial, or F2 for short, will run the payments project, including a planned Facebook Pay. This has all been reported by Bloomberg on Monday. So I don't know if this is a complete pivot for the Libra project, or is this a slight spin-off and maybe a little bit of a rebrand. But Facebook Financial, aka F2, is coming. The division appears to be incorporating Facebook's previous adventures in fintech under a single umbrella, with Marcus, again, the Libra guy, reportedly being in charge for both. Novi, the wallet for Libra, previously known as Calibra, as well as recent attempts to bring payments to the WhatsApp Messenger. The launch of dedicated division suggests the company intends to fully commit to the payments industry, continuing several years of efforts to integrate payments into Facebook's app. Former CEO of Upwork, Stephanie Kazraeli, will be the payments vice president, blah, 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 blah. According to Marcus, we have a lot of commerce stuff going on across Facebook. It feels like it was the right time to rationalize the strategy at a company level around all things payments. So clearly, They realized the need to maybe bring some kind of payment layer to their Facebook ecosystem, including WhatsApp, maybe the Facebook marketplace and all that. Libra maybe wasn't going to get the traction they were expecting, so maybe they're putting that on the back burner while they look into, bringing some kind of other payment structure over to their other products, including, of course, WhatsApp. WhatsApp being an insanely popular international communication app. Definitely, I think one of their main goals will probably be to bring some kind of PayPal, Venmo, Cash App style functionality to the WhatsApp Messenger. So Facebook laying the groundwork, or a pivot depending how you look at it. I think Justin is back with us again. Potentially. Let me just
sitting here listening to my generator struggle, trying my best to stay online.
Oh yeah. Well then, time for a bigger output generator. May have to put that on this.
Sit here and optimize my fuse box. We're gonna be
I've been there. I've done that. All right, let me wrap up the last few stories just so we can hopefully lock in Justin for the final segment. I do know there's a few requests, like I mentioned earlier, that we want to get to. All right, so here's some new comments from Adam Back, of course, the man who some suspect is Satoshi himself, the guy that heads up Blockstream. Interesting little piece here, something that Cointelegraph is reporting on today, as they did interview Adam Back, and he kind of went on the record for his perceived Bitcoin maximalism, right? So he kind of took a few stabs in this interview at the altcoin space, thinking that there's too many of these projects popping up and they're not necessarily going to lead anywhere. But then again, he might be stating the obvious. So the Blockstream CEO believes that Bitcoin is enough and there's no need for a multitude of derivative products, Back said. He thinks it's something like TCP, where the internet exists, and therefore we don't need 5,800 TCP copies trying to monetize and profiteer off pumponomics of such. It detracts from the value, and he gathers that there's 5,800 altcoins as of today, and he noted that innovators should focus on Bitcoin instead. He says that Bitcoin's modular. You can build anything you want using it. If you're trying to innovate, go ahead and innovate. Adding Bitcoin is electronic cash for the internet. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. But he also dipped into the discussion concerning Satoshi. He said, discussing Satoshi rumors, which probably includes him being fingered as Satoshi, Back noted that it would be unwise for Satoshi to reveal himself. I'm not sure if it would be a wise idea for him, not for Bitcoin. He agreed that even if Satoshi were to come back, he would likely not be able to take back control of Bitcoin's development. Yes, I think Bitcoin's decentralized enough to reject Satoshi views, even if he went nuts. So, pretty spicy interview, taking a few shots at the alts. I'm not so sure how I feel about this idea that you can build anything you want on Bitcoin. But clearly that's what Blockstream is into. They're building side chains and other technologies used to harness the base layer protocol. So it's interesting here. I haven't fully dug into the whole Cointelegraph interview, but the man is a maximalist. Who can blame him? He is heading up Blockstream, of course, so he is the lead cheerleader for all things Bitcoin. All right, final story. This is something Alex mentioned earlier today. So the Uniswap tokens are absolutely blowing up in recent weeks. Something we've covered a lot lately is the DeFi Pulse TVL. Let's just check out DeFi Pulse. Right, so 4.63 billion total value locked in the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem, and it just seems like the week before it was 3 billion, and the week before that it was 2 billion. So we've really seen a massive run up in the DeFi space, and who can blame them? It's pretty fun, not too much in the way of KYC or AML barriers or centralized exchanges. This kind of feels like the Wild West 2017 ICO era all over again. But as for the story, Let's take a look at what they're saying here. Right, so this one's basically a story, a little word of caution to anybody diving into Uniswap, because unlike centralized exchange listings, practically anybody can list anything on one of these dexes like Uniswap. And go figure, out of the dozens of projects that are now rushing into the space, it appears that 2 small token projects have gone down, potentially exit scammed from Uniswap after investors poured funds into them. So this is something I even saw discussed in the members lounge, because I think a few people took a little bit of a gamble on Nugs, quite the name, Nugs.space. Has the ticker symbol Nugs. And Nexium protocol, NEXE ticker symbol, both disappeared from Uniswap, the first project, which was the China-based Nugs.space, blamed going down on a smart contract bug, claiming on social media that it's beyond repair. So yeah, so they delivered a faulty contract, maybe, or maybe it was just a scam to begin with, either way, and it seems that they are abandoning it and they're gone. So on social media, the team behind Nugs claimed that their tokens would be permanently remain untouched in the Ethereum address, which contains currently over 100 million Nugs tokens in it. Nugs, per its website, was supposed to be a fun escape within the cryptocurrency space with a total supply of 420 million. I think it's cheeky 420 based on its Nugs name. All right. I guess maybe that was a couple of red flags out of the gate. Every Nugs transaction would incur 2% with 1% of the tokens being permanently burned. So it's some kind of like deflationary 1% lottery kind of deal here. Kind of sounds a little bit like that taco project that was released today. So yeah, Nugs gone. So anybody who piled into Nugs, unfortunately, that one backfired. Ethereum blockchain data shows millions of Nugs tokens are pouring into the DEX Uniswap, presumably as users try to sell all of their holdings. On Uniswap, the token started trading up after being listed, but soon plummeted. Let's see. As you can see, this is the kind of sentiment in the crypto Twitter space today. Opportunity.exe here says, I thought I would be shilling a fresh listed coin tonight, but seems like we are out of luck. Nugs listed between 15 and 25x out of the bat. Ooh. And he's not touching that. Okay, and then he says, actually, let me rephrase that. Seems we were in luck. Exit scam or just a ridiculous flaw? Whatever. Happy I decided not to get in. Yes, indeed. And I see he also lists Esbree here. I got into that yesterday. I'm a little unhappy with that one, but I'm going to hang in there for a little while longer. Another project token, the Nexium project, appears to have exit scammed shortly after being listed on Uniswap. Surprise, surprise. Project's website has been taken down. Social media accounts have been deleted. Available data shows it was some kind of buyback program to lure in investors. Data from Uniswap.info shows token price plummeted by 99.2% shortly after listing, going from 13 cents to 27-cent high before plummeting to, not 28 cents. Liquidity dried up. All right, so that's basically the final story, and it does provide a bit of cautionary note here. Uniswap and these crazy moonbag tokens that have caught everybody's attention, including my own. Have to be extremely careful, guys. Some of this stuff is just really speculative. These are just pump and dump. This really reminds me of the 2017 mania. I'm not sure how many of these projects will actually generate quality output, but go figure. This is what happens when we dabble in the shitcoin casino, and Uniswap is increasingly becoming that space. Let me take a look here. Let me take a look. I see we got a few requests here, but I think Justin dropped out. Let me see here. I'm gonna call it. Okay, Justin unfortunately says his generator's struggling. He keeps going down. He feels bad. He doesn't want to keep connecting just to be dropped out. So I guess I don't blame him. It's unfortunate. it went down that way, guys. I would give you my TA, but I'm not sure if I'm the most qualified to be giving you guys my rundown of ADA. My opinion is, stack your sats, buy quality, guys. If you want, leave a little bit aside to dive into the casino known as Uniswap tokens right now. I'm going to quickly scroll up before we leave. Again, sorry guys, we cannot get to the Q&A portion, so I'm going to be wrapping it up shortly here. To anybody joining late, apologies again. Justin, of course, is in the middle of the giant Midwestern storm, and his power is knocked out, so he's kind of on the ropes here. Going to quickly look at the last few comments. Andrew Muntz says 4 contract kill on a PL short. Month maker today. Metals volatility is great if uncertain on crypto. So Andrew Muntz apparently made the month of August in one day alone based on his forged contract kill on the short of PL. Good work, Mr. Andrew Muntz. Even Philip Carr concurs. Smart move, about time to go. BTC Capital. Andrew Muntz, the Kraken Crypto Algo shadows nicely, doubled up on TradingView in the metals future. Yep, Kraken Crypto Algos do work in all sorts of markets. David Rice says hit the likes, leave a comment. Of course. Mr. Ether asks, can your annuity transfer into Grayscale? Not too sure about that. Would have to research. Let's see here. Dark Rico recommended Justin turn his laptop into power save mode. Maybe that'll take the stress off the generator a little bit. Maybe. According to Philip Carr, Satoshi's chilling on the beach, thrilled with the performance of his proteges. Might be chilling on the beach, but I'm not so sure about thrilled with the performance of his proteges. Really, the Bitcoin community has splintered and has its issues. Andrew Munn says it's time to go fishing. See ya. He's going on another vacation. Well done. T-Dub, SXP, USDT. If there's time, please. T-Dub, I'm so sorry we could not get to your chart request. Again, we're just, it's been a bad week or so, I suppose. Let's see here. Mr. Ether says, and you guys shit on me about Hex, which is an immutable contract. You know what, man? Honestly, I was definitely playing devil's advocate with Hex. I know that Richard Hart rubs a few people wrong. I didn't think it was that bad of a project. It certainly had the pumponomics, the pumpamentals on lock. So I guess in many ways, I think, and I've seen Richard Hart kind of give himself credit for launching the DeFi bonanza. I don't think he has. I think he was a bit of a polarizing personality, and that was the project's main weak point. All right. Let me actually let's leave the screen as is. I'm sorry for the Hall of Mirrors effect on the main window, guys. I'm just reading through the comments. Beeflo says I can do the TA. Nah, I think I'm not gonna do the TA, guys. On top of that, my TradingView subscription just expired yesterday, and I can't really load too many elements onto my TradingView chart right now. Peckham says if Grayscale is selling to the public, the top is in. It's not good. Selling to the masses, price goes down. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not so certain of that. I'm not sure if that is necessarily the case. I think it's about damn time with how much money some of these companies are pulling in that they devote a little bit of money to marketing. So Grayscale, what took you so long to create a friggin' Super Bowl ad, right? Finally, last few questions or a few comments. Philip says Cardano is a business more than a currency, I reckon. So potentially Philip is bullish on the Cardano. And T-Dub says all good. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging in there. I'm glad we could get what little TA we did into the analysis in the beginning of the show. Philip Carr finally says, cracking crypto money management philosophy on position sizing works in all scenarios of trading. Indeed, many of the strategies and approaches to trading that we teach in the premium course do apply to a wide range of markets. We are not exclusively crypto traders. As you can see, there are plenty of opportunities. Plenty of opportunities to diversify the skills you learn with us into other markets in the space. B-Flow, final comment. Come on, Jack. 6.4K, then to 64K. B-Flow, that would be pretty cool. I do have some stink bids placed down low. If we do get a crazy wick or sell-off that does retest the 6, 7, 8 range again, I will be backing the truck up and loading up on those contracts to take it back up to, 64K would be nice, guys. I'm not going to lie. Love to see Bitcoin moon and prove some of the haters wrong. But along that vein, got to stack a few other coins as well. Can't exclude some of the other moonshots that are currently available to us thanks to, Uniswap tokens for one, and the magic of Ethereum for the other. So, once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Once again, it's Crypto Jack. I'm signing off. Justin, unfortunately, can't be here for the end. His connection dropped again. So, everybody, see you tomorrow. Hopefully, normal business does resume tomorrow or later this week, and we can get Justin in here and the full quality and the full glory of his usual HD broadcast. So much thanks again to the audience. We will catch you in the Discord. Peace out, everybody.